I mean, I respect your talent, sir. And it's very unique. It's very original. There's none other than, the one of one. And I want to talk about, just your relationship with Comedy Central. From the hood's perspective, we really didn't, know a lot about Comedy Central like that back in the day until Dave Chappelle came on the scene, did what it did. And there was a lot of criticism after Dave left. And it just leaves me curious as to, what was your relationship with Comedy Central? And, how has it been working with them after all these years?
It's been it's been good. Dave and I are not the same in the sense of what we brought to the network. My job is to be Scottie Pippen to Trevor Noah's Jordan. If we're just going to be blunt, my job is to come in on the Daily Show. Trevor's got to handle the desk. And when I first came in, at the time, I was the only black correspondent. I wasn't the only correspondent of color, but I was the only black one. Word to Dulce Sloan, word to Jessica Williams as well, who was also on staff. But what I felt like my job was to go out and what is the black shit that black Americans are angry about and figure out a way to jump into that. And if Jessica Williams couldn't touch it, then I was the one that was supposed to go and touch it. And so during that time, I've been able to do some stand-up specials at a time where also nobody was fucking with me before I got on Comedy Central. And that's the thing where they go, oh man, so-and-so left Comedy Central and when's you gonna leave and go where? I don't know what's out there for me. I know it was out there before 2015 and it wasn't shit for me. Only person fuck with me on a regular basis was Conan O'Brien and BET. If we just just blunt 100, if we're talking about stand-up, there's only two entities, Comic View and Conan O'Brien. Everything else was one and done. Letterman was one and done. Craig Ferguson was one and done. Who was the late night boy? No, I didn't do Seth Meyers until I got Daily Show. So it was a very short list of folks that was really rocking with me. And so, Dave did his thing and they fell out and the shit was ugly. It was very ugly. Right. And then you look at, Key and Peele were there for a minute and they did their thing and then they dipped because they had other goals and other things that they wanted to do. So, I look at what I can do during my time here and eventually my time will be up. Nobody stays on a network or on a show forever. So when my time is done at the Daily Show, yeah, I want to level up the same way Dave did, the same way Key and Peele did. But my time here in the now, I wouldn't say is nearly as drama filled as what it was with Dave, but that's also because I'm playing a different role. Dave was a goddamn quarterback, the GM, the owner, the offensive coordinator. Right. I come in and I can either throw Trevor the oop, Trevor throw me the oop. I can go out and do my own solo thing real fast and come back, and then also the Daily Show gives me a lot of freedom to be able to go off and do like other projects and shit. I just did a movie with John Hamm that come out next year. We did Only Murders in the Building. Tracy Morgan had me on Last OG. I did Better Call Saul. So they've given me a lot of freedom to go and explore other things as well. So I think in that regard, for what it's been for me thus far, the Comedy Central relationship has worked out fine. I've said it honestly that, I've spoken on the record about this, early on in my time here with my first 2-hour specials, that I wish that there was a better streaming option and better ways for people to watch stuff. And then PBS and Paramount merged, and Viacom and CBS merged, and they created Paramount Plus. So, my third special, Imperfect Messenger, it'll be over there, I think the back end of January, somewhere around MLK Day. So at least there's a place for all my shit to live. So they've improved in that regard. But how much complaining was I going to do off the rip when the only person who'd fuck with me is Conan O'Brien once a year for 5 minutes? No, you can eat this or you can wait. My boy trying to come hit me up for a snack.
Listen, I appreciate that answer because, we just fans of individuals on these networks. We hear things come and go, but when I do the research and I look into the work that you have done already, I mean, how was it like having your first show, your first big stand-up on Comedy Central? I mean, go into that, man. What was it like, going through that whole experience?
I mean, that was dope. That was at the time 17 years coming. That was my first hour special, father figure. And it's funny because you think as a comic, I got 17 years worth of jokes to put. No, you don't. Your ideas have changed, your personas changed, your beliefs have changed. Your first 10 years of jokes you would disavow at year 17. Like you wouldn't even dare set foot into trying that material later in your career. But, honestly, I feel like it's a blessing, but then I also want to make sure that I use some of my time in my career to just, help younger comics figure out their own way through and just kind of be, the OG that I wish I had. Because I don't always get that, or I never already got that growing up. So I wish I got that. So I just try to be that.